Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a pleasant afternoon to our admiring speaker, Mr. Aziz bin Jameran, and to all viewers. Welcome to UTM Engineering Student Virtual Hangout Zone, hosted by Faculty of Engineering, University of Technology Malaysia. If you can hear me clearly, can you please spam some emojis or say hi in the comments? Okay, thank you for joining our webinar. Despite of being in this COVID-19 pandemic, I hope you're safe and sound with your loved one at home. I am so delighted to see all of you eager to engage with our interesting yet very popular topic, which is graduate employability. We're going to discuss about a set of achievements, skills, and any personal attributes that makes graduate more likely to gain employment in whatever occupation they choose. Okay. Before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nur Iman Balkis binti Muhammad Suhaino from Persatuan Kejuruteraan Awam, PK, second year of Civil Engineering. And I'll be your virtual host for today, so I hope you can bear with me throughout this program. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our admiring speaker for today, which is Mr. Aziz bin Jameran, Head of Human Resources Division, Ranhill Utilities Berhad,
from Persatuan Kejuruteraan Awam,
an
second
experienced
year of Civil
HR
Engineering,
professional with
and I'll be your virtual host
more
for
than
today,
20
so I hope you can bear with me throughout
in local and multinational organizations in many
my
fields of
for this, which
industry,
is Mr.
such as
Aziz bin Jameran,
property
Head of
development,
Human Resources
pharmaceuticals,
Division
and
and
engineering.
from Persatuan Kejuruteraan Awam,
I know,
and
and not only that, he also holds a degree in accounting from International Islamic University, Malaysia. I know, what a great background, right? But first, let me inform you that you are welcome to drop any question in the comment section below, and I will read it to speaker in the Q&A session. Without further ado, let me hand over to Mr. Abdul Aziz to give his speech. Mr. Abdul Aziz, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Iman. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning, good afternoon to whoever is watching this program at the moment, wherever you are in Malaysia or outside Malaysia. I wish you all well and healthy. Yeah. A lot of things need to be taken care of during this pandemic. First of all, a great, huge terima kasih to the Faculty of Engineering UTM for giving me this platform, this opportunity to share my view, my experience with regards to graduate employability. It's a very common topic. It's not a strange topic, graduate employability. Yet, we continue as employers from the market. We continue to face issues. We continue to face problems. We continue to face challenges whenever we want to employ graduates. Despite all the effort that we have, the issue of graduate employability is still a big issue as far as employers are concerned. And obviously, the more demanding employees, the more stringent employees will find it even more challenging in employing graduates. All right. So today, I will just share some slides and some information with regards to graduate employability, to this topic. And I think it is, whatever that I'm going to present, it's probably not alien to you. It's probably not something that you don't know already. But let me take each and every point from my personal perspective as a HR practitioner, with with a small little experience of interviewing graduates. I've interviewed graduates around the world, from Asia Pacific to America, facing all sorts of graduate with all sorts of background. But eventually, when it comes to the employer, the requirements are very typical. The requirements is pretty standard and normal, and it's probably it's not rocket science lah. It's very generic, very simple. Tapi a lot of us probably taken for granted. All right. So what is actually graduate employability, right? And in a very simple words, it's basically to make sure that you are employable once you graduated from university. In this case, from UTM, right? That means you have to be able to demonstrate soft skills. Communication skill. Communication skill is common sangat dah. Yeah, it's very common. Tetapi we still have a big issue around communication, yeah, as far as the students are concerned. Lepas tu, the other things are career specific skills, whether it's engineering, computer software, business studies, whatever majors that you are doing. And sometimes people think that, oh, maybe my chances of getting a job if I do engineering is better. Or maybe if I take more even though I do engineering, maybe if I take elective subject, my chances will be better. Well, yes, to a certain extent, but not necessarily. All right. So other things like accumulated knowledge and ability to apply information in the workplace is more important. All right. And then obviously showing positive attitude during the interview, during the application. Sometimes as recruiters, the recruitment people sometimes can even feel your passion by reading your CVs. Okay, strange lah kan? Macam mana people, I'm going to use a mix of language just to emphasize some of the points. Sometimes kita heran, macam mana, how do you evaluate someone's passion ataupun someone's interest by just reading the CVs? We can do it. There are specific skills to do it. So don't play lah kan. Basically we have that skill to actually assess and evaluate graduates from that point onwards. Know yourself. That is very important. A lot of people, bila kita tanya, when interviewer asks, tell us about yourself. Tell us about yourself. And they will tell something which did not come from their heart. Dia akan bercerita tentang things which is not real. Right? You start talking about what other people think you should be rather than what you should be. Right? So it is very interesting. Dalam interview process pun there's a lot of process. There's a lot of ways and approach to for the interviewer to actually understand the body language, the dynamic, the passion of the person, and at the end of the day, whether the person is suitable or not. All right, to be employed in the job, right? And leverage a developed network to connect you with career opportunities. Obviously, nowadays we have LinkedIn, we have all sorts of social media. You have career talks by organization and stuff like that. You got to start building networks from that point onwards. I remember when I was in university, ages ago. There was one interviewer, so to speak, ataupun macam ni lah, they come to university and give talk, and I kept that name card until I actually graduated. All right. So, and when I graduated, I actually contacted the person to ask for job and all those things, and he gave me a piece of advice which I still use and I still teach and share with people until today, which is whenever you go, Aziz, whenever you go out there for an interview, you make sure, his language was a bit more kasar lah mas tu. You bloody make sure that you are ready. Don't go to an interview empty-handed, tak bersedia, because the moment you go and start talking, the interviewer will know that you are not ready. All right, so that is very important. All right, so that's graduate employability. Okay, what is that required to enhance our graduate employability, our employability to the market? Number one is creativity, flexibility, innovation, and of course collaboration. You've got to be creative. You've got to stand out from other graduates. Meaning to say, you cannot you don't go into, or you don't apply a job and you cut and paste the CV of another friend. Sebab you rasa CV dia cantik contohnya. No. Right? So you've got to create your own profile, your own self. Right? Of course, while creating that, you don't forget about what are the critical content that needs to be in the CV. Right? But you've got to create something which is different from other people. And employers, interviewers love to see difference among the candidate, right? The workplace is changing alongside emerging technologies, all right? Nowadays there's so much of technology, there's so much of platform that gives you a lot of guidance and all those things. So refer to all these things and make sure you learn about it. The golden key to graduate employability is basically co-curricular activities, what students and educators do aligned with the classroom. Okay, so one very important thing that employers look nowadays is whether the graduates is flexible enough to go into the workplace. You might be an engineer, but there are times when you will probably need to be an administrator. There are times where you probably need to go and do sales and meet clients, for example. And so we want engineers who are capable of being flexed into this kind of roles and responsibilities. All right. So and these skills you acquire the skills from co-curricular activities. So jangan pandang remeh co-curricular activities, all right? Especially when you are leading an association ataupun society or projects, right? Don't underestimate. It can be very, very important, okay? Preparation. Orang selalu tanya, ask me, when should I start preparing? My answer is always start even from your first semester. Okay, because you have to know. I mean, orang selalu kata there's always honeymoon years, right? But to me, there's no such thing as honeymoon years when it comes to graduate employability. You've got to make sure that you are ready from day one. How? First, you got to know yourself, what you really want to do. All right, and you got to make sure that what kind of person you want to showcase yourself to the market. Okay, and then what are knowledge that you need to acquire. You cannot buat these things from first semester, from first year. Don't wait until your final semester because it is too late. All right, it is too late. Participate in work experience, placement, internships. I personally, I like student who does part time during their long holidays, for example. All right, because there are a lot of things that you can learn from this kind of experience. Join co-curricular extracurricular activities, student societies. I mean, this one is given, given. Nowadays, there are companies, and Ranhill is one of them, where we don't look at 4 letters. To be very honest, we don't look at 4 letters. We look at maybe close to 4 flat ataupun 3 point something, but with a very active co-curricular activities, right? Kalau 4 flats, but really, you don't get yourself involved in extracurricular activities, chances are you won't get selected even for the interview. All right, so we want to see your extracurricular activities. Do volunteer works related to your career pathway. Volunteer works, when it's a volunteer, it's not simply helping gelandangan contohnya, no, and not that kind of volunteer work. But what is it that relates to your career path, right? Obviously, get advice from your professors and your career counselors. All right. I mean, they are there for a reason. They will be able to help us to identify ourselves. Okay, these are some of the preparation. Okay, then prepare when you graduate. All right. So when you have done preparation from year 1. After that, when you graduate, you actually must be able. The preparation that you have done from year 1 will enable you to identify who are the prospective employers yang you nak target. All right. When you know yourself, when you know what you want to do, you will already know what kind of companies that you want to target. Okay, if you're a civil engineer, what kind of companies that use a lot of civil engineers? Ranhill is one of those companies. I mean, our companies, our engineers are primarily civil engineers. If you are a chemical engineer, all right, so what kind of companies take chemical engineers? Petroleum companies, chemical companies and stuff. If you're mechanical, what kind of companies take mechanical engineers? All right, so you've got to identify your process. You cannot be applying everything and everywhere because you will lose focus. All right, you akan lose focus. That is where bila you dipanggil interview, you are not wholeheartedly in the interview. Right? You tidak sepenuh hati berada dalam interview tersebut sebab maybe that's not what you want. So that's very important. So of course, bila you apply online, especially, you got to look at your application. Lagi satu, yang I nampak is the students always cut and paste from their job street punya profile. Do not cut and paste when you fill up online application. Right? Companies sekarang ni banyak online application where you key in your profile, you key in your need. So don't cut and paste. Create it differently for other companies. Sebab apa? Ranhill might want something and students with certain characters. If you go to apply to Petronas might want someone yang of a different characters. So the character that Ranhill wants and the character that IJM wants, contohnya, may not be the same. An application for a mechanical engineer, an application for a civil engineer, different. Alright, so you've got to be able to differentiate this. Kalau tidak, then this is why I say selalunya orang tak ready. Dia tidak wholeheartedly into the application. Participate in industry graduate initiative, all this, ada macam-macam. There are a lot of graduate initiative out there yang you can participate, you must participate. And make sure that you are aware of what the industry wants. Know yourself. Know yourself ni penting lah. I mean, at the end of the day, you really have to understand what is it that you want, what is it that you want to be, who are you, right? You must understand who you are to the job. Okay. Okay. Remember, interviews are two ways. During the interview, first you must understand, the interview is not for you to just show yourself or show what you're capable to do, but interview is for you to show that what you can do or what you can offer match apa yang employers nak. Alright, that means you got to make sure that if you are interviewing for a road safety engineer, for example, right? You must know what is road safety engineer, and you must relate kenapa you nak jadi kenapa you nak apply job as road safety engineer. Alright, so it's all very specific. So if you use very typical reasons where, oh, I love this from the time when I kecil lagi, I suka benda-benda macam ni, oh, I memang suka, kenapa mechanical, oh, I memang suka fix things, for example. And my question is very simple, can you even fix your bicycle kalau bicycle you rantai tercabut? If you cannot, then how can you say that you're passionate about mechanical engineering? All right, so that kind of things. So you must be able to articulate your interests against what the employers want. All right, and at the end of the day, it's your personal employability brand lah. All right. Remember, interviews are two ways. Do you fit the organization or do they fit you? This question you must be able to answer. Okay. In the next few slides, I will just go through, what does employers say as with regards to graduate employability. Excuse me sekejap. Okay. 86% of employers consider good communication skill to be important. Yeah? Topic on communication skill ni, I think we don't have to raise it anymore because it is given. Good communication, 86%. All right, and then lepas tu, 53% of employees say university does not equip graduates with the right skills, for example, kan. So these are opinion of graduates, basically. Sorry, these are opinion of employers. That think the university does not equip graduate with right skill because whatever that they produce are not able to meet the demand. Sometimes it's not true. Maybe the university dah buat dah macam-macam, tapi still the graduates not living up to the expectation. 36% of employers think education system is failing to meet the needs of employers today, for example, kan. Well, senang lah kalau nak just blame to education system. But ladies and gentlemen, actually, it does not matter what it matters. But to me, it's not fundamentally correct to say that education system is failing. A lot of things has been done. I mean, our own country, our own education system. A lot of things has been done by a lot of people, a lot of companies, even the government. But whether students take it in their own hand is very important. Next, 46% of graduates think the university does not give them right school to do the job. Ini pun sama juga. Okay, all these surveys are done in this is taken from Britain. Tapi I think based on because we don't have this kind of survey in Malaysia, but I think it doesn't run that far in terms of the percentage. I think it is general issue where graduates around the world will have issues and problems against. The ability to work effectively in technology-rich environment is growing requirement. Okay, that is of course with the pandemic that has happened recently, kan, the changes is even more inevitable. I personally think that we should not hope for us to go back to normal, okay, or the old ways, because this is probably the normal now. Macam ni lah, career talk over over Facebook, over this kind of platform. I've never done this before prior to the pandemic, but nowadays, I do this quite frequently, sharing over online and all those things. So it has, bukan it is changing, it has already changed. Whether we subscribe to the change or not, then it's a question that you have to ask ourselves. Okay. Okay, these are some surveys in terms of skill that is lacking among applicants. Surprisingly, technical or job application is the highest. Well, I think it is mainly probably because you don't have work experience. All right, never mind work experience, but even the technical knowledge sometimes. All right. For example, if you are a chemical engineer, fluid analysis and all those things. Sometimes I used to have one principal engineers. Bila dia interview the engineer kan, he will even ask the basic formula of fluid dynamic contohnya. He will ask a very basic fundamental question of how you calculate certain formula, because sekarang ni a lot of things are calculated or done through system kan, tapi you have to know and understand what are the fundamental of those. Kalau you tak faham, then you think the system will do it correctly. Itu dia punya prinsip. Sometimes kita percaya sangat dengan sistem, kalau dia ada masalah sistem, kita pun tak sedar. Alright, so that's why they are very particular. And I know a lot of engineers out there who still do the same. Dia nakkan the graduate to knows the fundamental of certain things. All right. All other things, I think all these skills you can see for yourself. I just want to bring your attention to these core generic skills: oral communication skill, written communication skill, literacy skill, numeracy skills. All right. Oral communication skill, of course, skill bercakap. All right. And bila bercakap ni, maksudnya bukan tak seperti you cakap banyak, you terror. It does not mean that. Does not necessarily means that. It is how you articulate the subject is very important. If the interviewer asks about what do you think about the battery of a Tesla, for example, at the moment it runs about 3 hours or 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers. And so what do you think about it? So benda-benda macam tu. So you have to be able to articulate that and articulate the subject matter well. Written communication skill. This one very simple. We can see from letters. We can see from your CVs. All right. And of course, some companies ask you to do some written writing test, for example. So this is to gauge your knowledge and skills. All right. Literacy, numeracy skill, all these are, especially if you are engineers. If you are engineers, your basic maths has to be absolutely correct lah. I remember when I took my SPM last time, probably most of the lecturers will be on the same batch. Kita pakai lagi buku sifir kan, and no calculators at all in the exam hall. But nowadays, we allow calculators and things like that into the exam hall. So, so how strong is your fundamental? This is very important. Okay. So what do employees want? 82% employees suggested improving students' employability skills should be the key focus of university. Ini survey tahun 2009. And I think it is still relevant until today. All right. A lot of employers are still suggesting the same. And I think universities, in particularly UTM, I spoke to some of your lecturers and deans, and I think the university has done a lot of things. A lot of things. I know some lecturers who even who even help you answer your call in the middle of the night just to help you on these kind of things. So I hope you all really, you all appreciate this, and you'll make sure that you all get it right and correct. 78% of firms stated that employability skills are amongst the most important factors when recruiting. Yes, it's well, basically, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. All right. Sorry. It doesn't matter whether you pandai bercakap ke ataupun you pandai present ke, but what is most important is whether your skill, your employability skill matches what the employers want. 41% of employees feel that interpersonal skill and IT skills are most lacking in newcomers. All right. Surprisingly, in the age of technology, right? In the age of technology, this still happens. All right, this still happens. This is survey of 2012, but I think even today, memanglah kalau suruh buka Facebook dan Instagram semua terror, semua pandai, buat video semua pandai. But when it comes to, for example, Excel, kalau Excel programming, how good are you at Excel programming? Kalau you not good enough, not good enough. And how good are you at if you're going for sales kind of position? How good is your presentation skill? How good is your PowerPoint skills? So benda-benda tu. So these are very, very important. We think we thought the students nowadays are much better. Tapi we realized that actually they're probably just good at Facebook's, Twitter's, you name it, all the social media, but not on the IT skill, the IT skill that is relevant to the job. Okay, so very important. Excel, you must know Excel programming at the very least, and all the other IT skills, especially kalau you ada software yang relevant to your course and all those things, you must master those skills. Kalau tidak, then you will have problem. Okay, next I'm going to go to what are some of the key skills. What are some of the key skills employers wants us to develop? Okay. Okay, this is top 10 most important attributes when recruiting new graduates. This is 2008 when I way back in 2008, we still have this. Until today we still have this. Mungkin dia punya susunan tu berbeza, tetapi communication skill is still number one. Sometimes people ask me, apa sebenarnya yang kita nak daripada communication skill ni? Apa maksud dari communication skill ni? Kan? So the simple way to put it is, let's say I ask you to explain about how this mouse work, for example, kan? Okay? How this mouse work, right? So are you able to really explain how this mouse work, ataupun you cannot? Alright? So and how do you articulate? How do you explain this mouse works according to layman term? Kalau you bercakap dengan non-engineers, kan? How do you explain? Kalau you yang interview tu orang HR yang tak ada engineering background, lepas tu dia suruh explain fluid dynamics, in layman terms. Kalau you explain fluid dynamics in engineering term, memang orang HR macam saya pening lah. We won't be able to understand. So how do you explain? So really, communication skill is to tailor your communication to the audience. Right? Kalau audience you principal engineers, macam mana you nak explain betul? Kalau your audience you is your senang cerita your parents contohnya, how do you explain certain engineering principles to your parents in a layman term? So ability to do that is what is usually missing. Alright, when you are put into an interview, especially kalau if you are put into a group interview kan, lagi nampak benda-benda itu bila kita interview. Alright, kita akan nampak sometimes soalan dia simple je, jawapan dia mungkin 2 line je, tapi we have all sorts of ways of people answering. Okay, so how do you do that is very important. Teamwork, integrity, intellectual ability. I think all these it's not something new lah. I think I'm sure you all have seen this. You all know about this. What's more important is whether you have this. All right, whether you have this. I think the question tak perlu dah tanya apa skill yang penting kan. Tak perlu tanya dah apa skill yang penting. Kita tahu dah communication skill nombor 1. So what in communication skill yang you nak kena acquire, itu penting. Alright, so you know, these are 10 most important. Of course ada lagi lah. Sometimes different company will articulate it differently. Alright. Okay, future fits, preparing graduates for the world of work. Alright, so these are some other skills yang penting. Self-management, team working again, you know, is there. But what is self-management? It's how you, because ladies and gentlemen, students, dear students, I selalu cakap to students whenever they go into the real world. I don't call it real world. I call it welcome to the cruel world. All right. If you think preparing for your exam is tough, wait until you are preparing for your report in your work. If you think your assignment submission stress you out, wait until your boss asks you to prepare and submit certain reports. Lagi dahsyat. I can tell you multiple times. It can be 10 times harder than your exams or your assignments in university. That is something I always remind students. Don't underestimate. It's not easy. Alright, don't think that lepas ni I graduate I boleh kerja Yahoo. Don't be so happy about it. Because if you're not ready, you will be stressed out. Alright, you know. Knowledge like business and customer awareness. If you join a business outfit, obviously you will need to understand all these things. And walaupun you are an engineer, problem solving ni given also. I mean, if you sometimes kita employers senang je. I hire you to solve my problem. If I have to solve this problem, then I don't need to hire you. You know, that kind of connotation. So very important. Communication literacy, application of numeracy, application of information technology. I dah sebut dah benda-benda ni, positive attitude, entrepreneurship, enterprise, and all these things. So these are some of the skills that you have to prepare yourself with. And sometimes some of these skills, you know, your lecturer, your professors, your career counselors can advise you up to a certain extent. All right. It's your own research, your own connection network with external parties, which is more important. All right. Working towards your future, sama je. It's the same thing. Self-management, team working. You must prepare yourself in this area. All right. Interesting. Another thing is interesting. What do you graduate says? Okay, 50% graduate say the importance of employability skill has been explained. Okay, you agree? I think graduates agree pun. Kita dah explain banyak kali dah. It's probably more than 54%. Probably dalam ni ada berapa? Kita ada dalam dekat 100 orang kan, about 90 orang. I'm sure you all know what I was talking about, everything that I was talking about just now kan. Tapi whether you actually doing something about it is itu yang nak kena tanya. Itu yang lebih penting. Are you doing anything about it? Are you preparing yourself towards it kan? That's more important. Some graduates feel that their lives develop in their time management or representation and teamwork abilities. These are also you know quite important concern over graduates. Graduate rasa they are less developed, alright, in time management, oral presentation, all those things. Tapi sometimes when we ask students kan, did you have you ever done presentation during the coursework? Oh yes, katakan. So these are opportunities, right? and teamwork. Sometimes students more. Sometimes one thing that I would like to advise you all is you have to do extra and more than what people ask you to do. Sebabnya then by doing more then you will learn, right? And you ataupun dalam bahasa mudah, you kena poyo sikit bila you buat presentation, bila you prepare for your project, bila you have to deal with external parties and all those things. You have to do more. Kalau orang kata you nak pergi jumpa certain pegawai dekat pejabat-pejabat ni, takkan you pergi nak pakai t-shirt dengan seluar je kan. So you got to make sure that you are yourself are presentable. Sama apabila you go for job interview, you apply, when you develop habits to be serious in things that you do, masa project, masa presentation, masa assignment, that habit will continue when you apply for job, and that is what is going to secure you a job. All right. And there are a lot of government initiative to support employability skill development. Banyak government macam-macam plan dah buat. And I was involved dalam in few efforts, initiative. Some organisation dulu kita ada SLIM, sekarang ni kita ada Protege program, macam-macam, right? So for us to say that government tak ni, it's not, to me it's not accurate lah. It's not accurate. Universities have organised multiple efforts and initiative to help students. Right? Macam-macam universiti dah buat dah. Right? So I think even UTM, I come to understand that a lot of effort, and this is one of it. And this is another speaker talks about employability kan. Lepas tu sama je tajuk yang dia cakap ni kan. So memang sama, it's the same, right? Tak ada banyak difference pun. What's important is the tips that the person give and what are you doing about it. All right, so that's important. And students must have self-motivation and creativity to enhance their employability. Kita as students, you all tak boleh terlalu bergantung kepada what university gave you, right? Because universities have their own limitations as well. Your lecturers have got certain limitations as well, right? So you must you must be able to prepare yourself. I remember when I applied for my first job, masa tu tak ada Google, tak ada ni, way back in the 90s, early 90s. Masa I dapat a call for interview tu, I actually went to library, National Library dekat Jalan Terazak KL tu to find out about the company. Tak jumpa. I cari annual report, tak jumpa. What do? I cari HQ dia, I pergi kat reception tu, I cakap boleh tak saya minta annual report satu untuk saya study benda ni. Saya nak tahu pasal company. And I remember receptionist tanya apa, I malu-malu lepas tu, I didn't say I was going to apply for a job. Saya, this is for my university project, I said. And then when I went for interview, receptionist tu ada. Kan, the same receptionist were there. So and macam kita then they say saya hari tu datang minta ni kan. And I got the job lah. Right? I got a job. But the point is I mean, if you secure an interview, do not waste it. Do not waste it. You never know rezeki Allah bagi to the Muslim students and rezeki Allah bagi, you must believe in that. But what you do to get that is also very important. Okay. Okay, alright. I'm basically that's what I wanted. Macam saya cakap tadi, whatever that I've shared is not something strange. It's not something that you don't know, but you must be able to uh, differentiate yourself dengan other the other candidates. It's very important. Uh, I always feel students not ready for to come for interview and all those things kan. Lepas tu, and there are certain, because mind you, the interviewer sometimes are very busy people. They're very very busy. Kalau you datang, I had hiring managers, dia masuk 5 minit, lepas tu 5 minit, lepas tu masuk 5 minit, lepas tu dia kata okay lah, I think you're not ready, I think there's no point for me to interview you even more. That's it. Nak menangis budak tu kan, because dia rasa but that's the reality, that's the situation lah. Alright, any question, Iman?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Aziz. That one is very brief explanation. Even myself, I already take 3 pages to take your notes, right? So now we move to Q&A session. Let me read the first question for you. It is from Fina Darwin. What is more important in hiring an employee? A candidate with experience or potential?
Good question. Apa Fina? Good question, Fina. Yeah. Alright, so it really depends. It really depends on what the employers want. Okay. Tapi biasanya when we call for interview, usually we call because we think the candidate is suitable. Alright. So whether it's for potential ataupun based on experience, it works dua-dua pun, it works both ways. I've come a situation where we hire for potential. Ada, kita hire for potential. That means kita nampak, for example, in one of my previous organization, we see that in 5 to 10 years time, we are going to move into certain areas, expertise yang need to be developed. So what happened is we hire potential, right? Tetapi, okay, one point to note is when we employees hire potential, we will hire the person with the highest potential. What I mean is, that means usually bila kita hire potential, the standard become high. Dia tinggi lah, dia maknanya kita nak orang yang betul-betul nampak potensi dia. Itu actually more challenging. Bila you go and the interview is to or the candidate goes for potential hiring for potential, then the expectation is much higher. Sebab apa? It's not, your skill is not proven yet. So we are being more careful. Kita as employer, kita akan assess betul, and we only take the top. Kita tak akan ambil candidate yang rasa-rasa boleh ni tak. Kita tak ada rasa-rasa. Usually kita and kita ada skill dia. We have skill, we have assessment approach and methodology to make sure that kita hire the right candidate. I remember when I was working with one of my previous company, we did a global hiring for fresh graduate, and we take we use a lot of method, psychometric lah, case studies, one-to-one interview, multicultural interview kind of thing. Sebab apa? We want to make sure that the candidates tu, the student tu, because kita hire tu for them to become, it's like a management trainee kind of thing kan. Kita hire untuk dia become our future managers or our future principal engineers. So kita betul-betul make sure that the person is really potential and really passionate and interested about it. Alright, so experience tu, of course, when the job says experience is required, then selalunya memang dia require experience lah. Alright, tapi sometimes dalam kita pun kadang-kadang biasa je. Ranhill pun ada juga. Kadang-kadang kita nak orang yang with 3 to 5 years experience. Tapi kalau bawah tu kata fresh graduate with good grades and active co-curricular activities is also encouraged to apply. Masa tu that means you boleh apply lah. So akan ada lah benda-benda tu. Look for that kind of details lah.
I think experience and potential work both ways. You need to master both of them.
Correct.
Okay, next question. From Wan Nur Afika, I have a question. What kind of extracurricular activities that pique the interest of recruiter? Do I need to be flexible in every aspect, such as sports, volunteering, and leadership, or focus on one aspect only?
Okay, again, Wan Nur Afika, very, very good question. Kita actually tak kisah pun. Alright? What is more important is if you say you are passionate about certain things, you must be able to show that you are passionate, Contoh macam I pernah interview student dekat India. She says, she's a she, she said, and it was an engineering punya ni, and dia memang engineering paper dia memang excellent lah, memang score punya memang A star lah apalah semua. And bila tanya what is your passion? My passion is in dancing, dia kata. Okay? So can you dance? So can. If you allow me, I can dance. Dia terus macam nak bangun nak menari lah. But I said tak apa nanti dulu. I said tak, it's okay. But and then she explained that she dance in dia masuk dancing club, dia masuk any traditional dance kan. All lah Indian apa ni, very ni kan. So then we ended up hiring that student sebab she proved that I score in my engineering, but my passion is in dancing, and because it's important. It doesn't matter sports pun okay. If you're active sports, kadang-kadang kita dalam company pun kita perlukan sportsman juga. We need people who are active, and we know if you are involved in sports, you will be healthy. That is also important, kan? Kalau kita hire orang yang tak sihat pun susah juga. Alright, so voluntary leadership, it doesn't matter. Kita akan look at ni. Cuma what is important is you kena betul-betul make sure that whatever that the extracurricular activity ni bukan sekadar melepaskan batuk di tangga. Maknanya kalau you buat betul-betul and you show to the interviewers that memang I interested. Contoh macam saya cakap tadi kan, mechanical. Kenapa you suka mechanical ni? Sebab saya suka fix thing daripada saya kecil lagi. Okay, bagi satu contoh. Saya selalu suka tanya, you pernah naik basikal tak? Pernah, kata. Okay, basikal you pernah putus tak rantai dia? Pernah. Apa you buat? Saya bawa pergi kedai. Kalau bawa pergi kedai tak terror lah. Kalau saya fix sendiri, saya betulkan sendiri, saya sambung balik. Then it shows kan, benda-benda tu lah. Alright?
Okay. Next question. Oh wow, that's a long question. Okay, great talk or advice you have given, Mr.
I think I can
Aziz.
read that also.
Okay.
I did analytics and new things. However, most of students with engineering background don't equip with this knowledge. Not all. Okay, if students learn by the will you consider equals or complete subject printed in student transcript? Okay, IRIB, okay, IRB. Okay, another good question. Dahsyat. You all punya soalan ni challenging betul. Very good. Okay, yes. Well, AI data analytics is something which is very, very, nak kata new sangat pun taklah new, tapi I think it is becoming more and more important. Even in HR, ada dah modul or system out there, online interview punya platform, where you can tell that the person is actually, macam tadi lah, kalau dia cakap dia interested, kalau dia suka panjat gunung contohnya kan, the platform will be able to actually tell whether you actually telling the interviewers the truth or not. So banyak lah. So yes, I think it is becoming more and more important. I actually dia kata statement ni, however most students with engineering background do not equip with this knowledge. I tak tahu lah, I don't quite agree with this sebenarnya. I think you know some I think banyak dah engineering ke apa ke yang exposed to this kind of skills or knowledge. But anyway, your end question is, will you consider this equals or not? Yeah, I mean at the end of the day, what's important is if the student learn it by his or her own initiative, and dia boleh prove, you boleh prove that you actually ada skill tu, I can tell you employees will love to take you. Dari as compared to student yang dia belajar masuk kelas ni tapi dia tak berapa terror. But kalau you, I mean anything that you learn at your own initiative is you should be proud of that. You should tell people that, look, I do this more initiative, because that's very important, rather than just coursework. All right.
Okay, Mr. Aziz, that one is our lecturer actually.
I see. Yeah, okay. But tapi itulah. I mean that's how important it is, right?
Boleh I selit sikit tak,
Boleh.
Mr. Aziz? Okay, I nak tanyakan about AI. Saying about AI, how can we graduate compete with that thing? You know, like Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and robotics. How can we graduate compete with that?
Oh, that is, I last year I attend one sort of AI in HR lah kan. That was exactly the question also. How do we? One of the question was, you know, how do we make sure that we are able to compete? And basically, I think even the speaker pun masa tu macam tak boleh nak jawab dengan with the because we do not know what is the extent of the AI capability. Kita boleh guess lah, dia boleh buat tu, buat ni, buat tu, tapi what is the capability? So it becomes a challenge to us kan. Macam mana kita nak compete kalau kita tak tahu apa true capability dia, right? But to me, this is my personal answer lah, which I think I gauge from interactions and all those things. I think at the end of the day, I really don't. Well, some people probably kata I ni orthodox ataupun tak ni lah. But well, AI will definitely take over certain roles, all right. But you know, they won't be able to be as complex as our own intelligence. Our intelligence is still going to be the best and
cannot comparable.
To me it's not lah. But so our own intelligence, creativity is still very important. All right.
Okay. There's no more question. Okay, but I have one more question for you. During COVID-19 pandemic, right? So can we create demand for salary, or we just need to accept what?
So you breaking skit. Sorry.
As we're in COVID-19 pandemic, can we graduate expect? Can we like demand a specific of salary?
Well, I think this is also another debate lah out there kan. Kita among employees pun kita debate selalu. What if the candidate be demanding and all those things? Well, I think it's a relative. It's a subjective question, which I will give you subjective answers. At the end of the day, the organization has got certain parameters in terms of package, in terms of salary, all right. And I can kalau if you are applying a job with an established organization macam Ranhill, you know, big organization, public listed, usually the pay package is matched to the market. Okay, kita ada pay package ataupun pay scale yang memang macam Ranhill, kita review every 3 years, kita review kita punya pay structure because we want to make sure that we are competitive. we want to make sure that we pay as much as other people are paying. Kita tak nak tertinggal. Okay, so jadi to me from that perspective, I think we need to be able to well, obviously for you to demand is going to be difficult lah, because kita dah ada pay package, alright. So I think the question of whether you can demand or not at the end of the day will go back to what is it that you're offering to the organization. But as a fresh grad, selalunya company dah ada dah dia punya entry level punya apa ni kan. But it will not take long for you to be able to demand sebenarnya. Kalau once you join and you betul-betul you strive really hard in your work, in your job, and then you are able to prove that you are a valuable employee kan. I've seen graduate yang lepas ni pun terus dapat increment, and after about 1.5 years, 2 years terus boleh naik pangkat kan. You got promoted and all those things. It's all really I think as fresh graduate you go in and prove yourself. That's more important lah. Macam kalau you dah ada experience, okay lah, then you can at least I can boleh demand lah.
Okay. I think that's all for this live session. Mr. Aziz, is there anything you want to add?
Okay. Well, I think thank you very much to the university, the Faculty of Engineering, to the lecturers and professors who and also to the team who is involved in organizing this. I always love I love it better kalau if I'm able to talk in front of students because it makes me feel young. but I think more importantly is I think I love to share what I can to help students understand what are the dynamics of the job market, and because I think you need all this information, and kita pun we want as employee kita nak the university ataupun student tahu benda-benda ni. Alright, so this is very good lah. But sometimes betul lah rasanya macam alah ni mesti sama je ni kan. Ini mesti sama je ni. But if it's different speaker, the perspective is going to be different. The tips will be different. The advice will be different. Walaupun tajuk dia sama, graduate employability. Alright, so students should not miss this kind of sessions lah. Alright, okay, itu saja. Thank you very much everyone who has been involved in this preparation. Okay,
to be concluded, thank you so much Mr. Aziz for the great sharing, and it was a great pleasure to have you as our speaker. We wish you all the best in everything you do, and we hope we can meet you real soon in the future. Thank you for viewers for staying with us until this end of this live. Stay tuned for more updates from Facebook, Faculty of Engineering UTM Johor Bahru. Okay, until then, have a great day everyone. Thank you so much. Imabati signing off.
All right.